And there we are.
And
some
here we
champagne.
are.
Some
Cheers.
champagne.
Exactly
Cheers.
that.
To kick off the interview. Cheers. Cheers, guys.
So we will get started. Actually, I'll have a sip and then we'll get started. So, to start this off professionally,
Yes.
I am Caz Parker for MMH, the home of rock radio, and I am here today in KK's Wolverhampton, my second home, joined by the legend that is the awesome Kenny Leckremo from the fantastic H.E.A.T. And we've got champagne.
Yes, we do.
Check us out. We're
Yeah,
so
provided to us by the bass player of H.E.A.T, may I also add.
Exactly.
Yeah, the
See?
fantastic Jimmy J.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, this is a good start, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is, yes.
And I was worried that I'd be too nervous, and here we are, relaxed already with champagne. This is it's the poshest interview ever.
Yes.
Well, first of all, welcome to Wolverhampton.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I am very well. As good as anyone could be.
Oh, of course.
I mean, I've just been out playing a bunch of shows here in awesome UK, and we love it.
You've done 5 dates, and this is the 5th one, I believe.
Yeah,
so
that's right, yeah.
I've written it
Back
down,
to back.
Bristol, Nottingham, Manchester, London, and now here we are.
Yeah.
And it's the last date, so how's it been? Have you been happy?
Well, it's been great. I mean, it's always, I said this yesterday in the show that we had in London, that every show that we do, every time we come back, it feels like the arms just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Like the embrace is just bigger every time. And I don't know, it's just something special about this island and heat. I don't know really what it is, but definitely something is stirring. And I don't know, I guess it's just a matter of time before things will really take off in a different way for us here, I think, because it's pretty crazy. I mean, I couldn't be more thankful and happy about the response and about how people feel about our music.
Yeah.
It's great. Fantastic.
Oh, that's so nice. It's so nice that you consider this to be a special place to come as well.
Well, I mean, I used to live here.
You did, I know that.
Yeah.
That's why your English is so good. I remember because you're so multilingual. Because we are pals. We have hung out together. Yeah. I'm sure some of those little mini stories will pop out at some point during this interview. There may be a question that relates to it, but so you're like multilingual and your English is impeccable, I have to say. So, you know, it's hard to imagine that it's not your first language, really, which is me massively diverting from the interview. But because you've spent so much time here as well, at least you get used to
for sure.
all that.
But I also think that like being Swedish and growing up in a place where everyone speaks English practically.
Yeah.
You know, apart from just obviously mother tongue Swedish. It's and for me, of course, I moved out of Sweden quite early. I sort of left when I was 21, 22, 20, 21-ish. And then I lived in the UK for a good, I would say 8-9 years, or I guess maybe a little more even.
Yeah.
I'm not sure now. So, but it serves me well.
Yeah.
I also think that it's something special about like English people being quite international.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter, even if your English is not on point or whatever. People seem to like level with what you want to say anyway, and they'll kind of fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
I'm not just talking for myself, like, but all the guys in the band or people around us. So because I mean, this is a multicultural place.
It is, and as long as we get it, and as long as we know what you're going to say, we'll help.
Yes.
We'll help. God, most people in England can't articulate themselves that well anyway, so you know.
But let's be honest. I mean, it depends on how much you're trying as well.
Yeah, it depends on where you're from, how much you're trying.
And not everyone has the gift of the gab, right? So,
how much you've had to drink. Yeah. I can't be drinking champagne all through the interview. We were in a real life situation. People are going to keep coming in and out of the room, which is great. So I was going to say, actually, what's your favourite thing about the UK? When you do come over, so considering you lived here, is there something you look forward to when you come back? Because you must know the food and the drink inside out.
But the food is definitely one of the things.
Okay, cool.
And also the hang. Yeah. Like people are in some ways a little bit more grounded than in other places. Grounded, respectful, but incredibly honest.
Oh.
Especially if you get into conversation with people.
Yeah.
And I really like that. So I feel very much at home in a way because we respect is in the center of a lot, politeness and all that stuff. But at the same time, you can still sort of really get to the core of whatever it is you're trying to get at quite quickly. There's not, of course there's going to be a lot of like, how's the weather, blah, 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 all that bullshit.
Polite stuff, we do that. We love talking about the weather.
Yeah, you do that so well.
The thing is, our weather is so obscure, like you don't know what to wear.
Yeah.
Like it's all about layers, like is it going to be cold?
But I think at this point,
blizzard,
like
wind.
the weather, the conversation about weather at this point is literally like saying hello.
Yeah, true.
It's
you say hello and they go cold.
Yeah.
First thing I said down there, it's cold.
It's cold.
Yeah.
But it's like a semi icebreaker, right?
Yeah.
Like a in some way.
Let's face it, our weather is never boring, is it?
No.
You don't know what's going to happen next. No. Unpredictable.
Yeah, but I think it's definitely the food and the people.
Okay.
It's like and I guess you call that culture.
Culture, yeah, exactly that.
So
yeah, I like it. That's nice.
I feel very at home.
Good. Well, it was your home, and you're always welcome back, as you know. So, what would be okay? I've never been to Sweden, believe it or not. How would you sell it to me? What am I missing out on?
I think Sweden is one of those places that, especially if you're not familiar with the northern parts of Europe, it can be very rural. Mm-hmm. And very old worldly.
Oh, so very beautiful.
But modern, in many aspects. Yeah. But still untouched.
Okay.
So one of the big differences, like not just culture, right? So in Sweden, you don't see fences in places. You don't have that. You can basically walk and just enjoy any area you like.
Right.
You can head out into any forest you like. You can go to any lake you like. You can, like, almost practically to the point where you could just like start walking in on other people's properties and just be like, oh, that's a nice apple tree. I may have one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's a big difference. But we have like we have something called allemansrätt, which means the right, like all man's right, like the right of man, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
The right of man would be the word. Well, the sentence, and it basically means that everyone has like an equal right to enjoy land and space, and that is very much present in Sweden. Some people may disagree with me, but being a traveling man, gone to many places and lived in quite a few different places as well, I would say that's one of the biggest differences between Sweden and other places in the world.
Yeah.
Is that it very much
is really interesting.
Like a free, open space.
Yeah. And you know what? It's partly because there's a lot of scallies in Britain, and they can't be trusted. They will drop litter. They will chop down trees and like make mischief. That is true.
True. But
it reminds me a little bit. I can't remember who did the original, but Tesla did a cover of a song called Signs, and it's about like signs everywhere. The signs, fucking up the scenery, wrecking my mind. Do this, don't do that. Can you read the signs? And there's stuff about like you can't walk on the grass, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it does sometimes become a bit like it's just a piece of grass. Why can't I walk on it? But
I also think that there is something to be said about having a society that feels the need of constantly holding your hand.
Yeah.
Like if you leave people to be adults,
they
will normally behave like adults. You know what I mean?
Nanny state, they call it.
Yeah.
It's like when you have to be told there's a hot drink when you've just ordered a hot
drink.
Drink.
Exactly that.
And you have to be told so you don't sue somebody that burned your mouth if you didn't know.
But I think it's also just it goes hand in hand with the things like a growing population.
Yeah.
You can't really compare the UK to a place like Sweden. Sweden is quite a big country. But not that many people. And the UK, on the other hand, is it's not small by any stretch of the imagination, but there's a lot more people here.
Yeah.
I mean, millions. Yeah. So it's a big difference in how you gotta approach stuff.
Exactly.
But I find it interesting, and I think it's great. And by the way, it doesn't matter where you are. Like, I mean, just enjoy the world. It's beautiful, whether it's Sweden, UK, it doesn't matter.
Maybe go to Sweden.
I love it all.
More of it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so enough about that then. Yeah. We are too late to do a selling job for this tour because if you're not here tonight, you missed out anyway. Yeah. But there are other things that we can do a selling job on.
We do play. Is it tomorrow? We play at a festival called Winter's End.
Winter's End. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there is that. Yeah. Yeah. As well, I did think that, but obviously. Single new released called Disaster, which is insane. It's so fast paced, but it's still the hooky, it's still got all of the H.E.A.T qualities, but my god, it's full of energy.
Yes.
Unbelievable. Not that the other songs aren't, but I was like,
yeah.
But this is ahead of something even more exciting. Shiny new album coming soon, 20th of April.
Yeah.
Called, before I get it wrong, Welcome to the Future.
That's right.
So that's exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, what can we expect? Again, this is your chance to do a little selling job, because what we'd like, really, people, is pre-orders. That's the ideal scenario, isn't it? Pre-orders, and then obviously when it comes out, go and do all of that. But pre-orders.
I think what I'd like the most is for people to just to listen to the music, and whether you like it or not, it's up to you. You know, it's I want to really be a part of this this generation of hard rock, or heavy metal, or whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter what you call it. AOR, rock and roll. It's got so many names, and we're a lot of bands now who sort of tread the. It's like we're in between different genres a little bit, and we sort of
kind of are,
but I think that's a really cool thing. I really enjoy that personally. But there's a lot of other bands just like that. And I want to be a part of the generation that sort of doesn't, erect walls, but rather like literally tear them down. No pun intended. I know the guys have we have a song called "Tearing Down the Walls," but it's a bit like that. I just want to put the music back into the center of attention.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Future is kind of about that in some ways in society. Like it's a bit dystopian, like it touches on dystopian. But it's also like an album of discovery for the listener and for the band. Because Force Majeure, I really enjoyed that album and I think it's great. Came out great. But it's like it did also. I would be amiss to say that it didn't sort of not suffer necessarily, but it did want to live up a little bit to the success of H.E.A.T 2, which is a fantastic album. And I love that album. And this album takes it doesn't really have that as such. It doesn't really.
It doesn't have anything to live up to.
No. It's just an album on its own, in its own right. And there's
been enough of a gap as well.
For sure.
It's definitely time for new H.E.A.T music.
Yes, and I feel like it's an evolution of the band in a good way.
Yeah.
And it sort of touches a little bit on our roots, but also continues to evolve that harder edged sound.
Yeah, I think so, because I think that's what I noticed. Because obviously I've only heard that one single, but I just thought it's classic H.E.A.T, but dialed up to 11, if you know what I mean. It's faster, it's that, and I think that's the difference. That's where you stand out a bit, because there is very much a lot of what you do does fit with that sort of Swedish rock. Like you say, you've got AOR, you've got melodic, you've got all the words you can throw at it, but you've got a harder edge to you, and maybe a bit more energy, which I think gives you that standout factor for me.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so. And it makes it more current as well, because it's easy to slip back into sounding very 80s, I suppose, for want of a better expression. But I don't think you do. I don't think H.E.A.T does sound 80s, whereas there are other bands
maybe
from Sweden that do.
But I guess it's always going to be a bit difficult in this style of music, because where the majority of the inspiration and musicianship and people that you look up to, they came from that time. They came from that era, the 80s or 70s or so it's going to be very easy for people to strive to sound, get the sound. I want the guitar to sound like it did on such and such album from '85, or I want the drums to sound like it did '84, such and such. And so naturally, of course, I think it's easy to sort of slip into that.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate in a way because we also have, guys in the band such as Jonah T, who is just a demon when it comes to he has the thermometer on modern day rock music all the time. He's involved very much. We are in some ways too. We're in the middle of the tornado, but sometimes it becomes difficult to see the forest for the trees.
Yeah, you can't see the full picture if you're in the frame.
Yeah,
all of that. Yeah.
That's right. And so having people like Jonah really helps sometimes to sort of back off a bit and sort of get distance from what you're doing, because he's able to do that in a different way than per se me. Yeah. I am much more like an airhead. Like I just sort of, I'm in the creative process and I'm just so obsessed with one particular thing. Like, no, the guitar has to be like this, and I'll work on that excuse my French, fucking chorus for weeks. You know what I mean? Like it's I can't.
But that's all right. Passion, focus, single-mindedness. Yes. That's all good. That's what. But like you say, it takes a team, doesn't it, to make something different.
Absolutely.
It's not all on one person.
So one of the best things about being in a band.
Yeah.
And one of the
when it works, it works. When it doesn't, that's when the problems start. But when you've got that thing and it all works and everybody can bring their... It's like a football team. Everybody knows their part and they're what they're good at. So.
Definitely.
Not that I'm massively into football, so I'm not going to go too far down that route. So, that's the album. Yes. I know you've also been announced for Made of Stone.
Yes.
And you're on the Friday night, which, by the way, is my birthday, just saying.
Oh.
I know, so I'll be there. Supporting, so you'll be...
We did kind of plan that.
I thought so. I knew it. So, obviously you'll be on just before Richie Kotzen, which will be... I mean, he's a legend anyway, so that'll be incredible. So the Friday night lineup's amazing. But so I know about that already. That's now out in the open. Is there anything else coming up that nobody knows that you can secretly put into this interview? I know. I like to try.
I wish.
Exclusive.
Truly, I wish. But I would have to. I'm sorry. I
would have to sign an NDA.
Yeah, but first of all, I am probably the worst guy to ask about anything that we have got going on that is not official yet. Put it this way: if I have some important meeting or whatever it may be next week, I'm not going to set an alarm. I'm not going to set a notification. I'm not going to write it down. I'm just going to be like, that sounds great. Okay. And then, other people around me will kind of like, I'm a grown man, but I still have issues with, like, I don't know. I
forward
guess,
planning.
Yeah, and also I kind of like that. When we come out to play like this.
That's right.
I just want my mind to be on. Yeah. In the moment.
You're a musician. You don't have to do the detail. You're the talent. You've just got to turn up and do the thing.
No, but I want to be one with what's going on right now.
Yes.
Like living in there.
I get it. Like I'm terrible for forward planning. My friends get so cross with me. This is why this interview happened. We planned it and we arranged the time 2 minutes before we actually started doing it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll be over there. Okay, great. Just contact.
It'll happen. It'll be fine. But it's fine. We're here. We're doing it.
But
we didn't need to forward plan the exact specific time.
And I'm the kind of guy who will basically, I will come and knock on your door, like I without calling. Like I do shit like that. So when I come back home to Sweden, for example, and say I haven't been in Sweden for a while, I'll literally just walk up to, like, whether it's Dave's door or Crash's door, I'll just be like, hello, and they'll be like, hey, you're here.
Exactly.
Like,
it's better that way. Spontaneity.
In some aspects.
You can come in. You've just got to be quiet like a little church mouse. Real life stuff's happening. So, so we've talked a lot about things, music, done some selling jobs, and the thing about my interviews, I like them to bring out a bit of personality, and I like to ask questions that you may not have been asked before. So there'll be some that you might be familiar with. There'll be some that might surprise you. So, but random stuff tends to bring out interesting things.
Sure.
So we'll start off very sensible. What is a gig memory that you never want to let go of?
So when we opened for Toto, it was the first biggest show that I had ever put on at that time. I mean, I was quite young. We were all really young, but it was just one of those standout things. We were gonna play in an arena.
Yeah.
And we had just like signed a record contract and all kinds of stuff was going on. And I'll never forget having like the crew guys of Toto talking to each other in walkie-talkies. I mean, we had been playing in clubs up to that point, basically.
That's insane.
So to have these like professional American guys with walkie-talkies, you know, talking to communicating with each other, saying, "Yeah, the band is ready," you know, all that stuff. That was just like, it was just so overwhelming. And the fact that we had some of the guys from Toto stood side stage. I mean, I have a bunch of other memories that are just as epic, if not more epic. But this one really stands out because it made a huge impact on not just me, but all of the guys in the band. And everything, like, it kind of set the tone for the greater things that we were gonna move on to do.
That's insane.
That
is kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? And actually, do you know what? I'm going to lead straight on to another question from that then, because I think it relates. Have you ever met any of your musical heroes that has made you go starstruck and fanboy?
Yes.
Who?
So I used to be like a bit of a sort of I guess we all are sometimes, you know, like really like fanboy. I went to an island situated between Finland and Sweden to watch Steve Harris and his friends play football, and this was before they played in Sweden.
Right.
So we sort of stalked Steve Harris around, but he was really cool. He stopped, you know, his entourage and just like, hey, there's a couple of guys who want pictures and signatures and stuff, and we thought it was awesome. We got to hang out and all that stuff. But so I never, and I also met Nick McBrain, and that was really cool. Like, I was 15, and he signed my drumsticks and all that stuff. But what I was going to get to was the last one. I never really had the chance to talk to Bruce, which obviously is a huge influence on me from when I was a little boy, when I discovered basically music as a singer. But before then I was a drummer. I was always just a drummer. So one day, just completely randomly, I'm gonna fly back to England. I'm into Winchester, because that's where I used to live. So I was gonna fly back home to the UK, and I get to Arlanda in Sweden, and I stand in the sort of the queue for the gate. Right. So I see a profile that I recognize, like the sideburns are there and all that shit, and it's Bruce.
No.
Yeah. He's just stood in the gate in the queue, and I'm just like, no way, and it was, and so I basically walked up to him. I forgot to speak English. I didn't introduce myself. I didn't say anything because I knew people that knew him. And I could have probably introduced myself. And at some point in our conversation, he'd probably be like, I think, all right.
You could have built your credibility.
Somehow.
You could have done a really cool job.
But nothing, zilch, zero. I just basically went full fanboy, and I lost my shit, as you say.
Amazing.
But it was really crazy. But it gets worse, because we get on the plane, and I obviously go and sit my ass down in economy, and he's somewhere up front. I was guessing at the time. So mid-flight, I get up and I sort of wander off into first class, where I was thinking, I'm gonna find Bruce here, because I didn't get his signature, and I wanted his signature. So I approach him, and he's in the middle of eating.
Oh no, this is everything you shouldn't do. The etiquette's terrible here.
It's basically everything you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway.
Yeah.
So I walk up to him, and to give him credit, he was really friendly and happy to oblige.
Oh, that's good.
He signed me, and then after that, the stewardess were like, so who is that? People were asking me, like, who is this person? And I knew at the time I was sitting there, if I say who he is, then they're probably going to swarm him. They're going to be like, I want an autograph from my grandson or my blah blah blah.
Someone,
But I couldn't really. I couldn't really lie about who he was. It wasn't like I was going to make up a story like, oh, he's a famous painter that I like. It wasn't going to be like that.
No one's going to believe that.
No. So yeah, I did say it's the singer of Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh. And so after that, the air stewardess just came up to me and randomly started giving me weird, random stuff.
Like what?
Food, drinks, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Freebies. That's amazing.
just for letting them know who he was.
Oh,
and so
cool.
I don't know for sure, but I bet you that I am probably responsible for him having a pretty uncomfortable flight, having to sign autographs
I know, the poor guy.
for every man and his dog on the plane.
Yeah. I know, but that is super cool, and it is Bruce Dickinson. So what are you gonna do?
I couldn't.
You would have had more regrets if you hadn't done that than if you'd have been polite.
Yeah, 100%.
We've all done that. I've had moments of being polite and not taking that opportunity. And then.
But I'm a little bit. I'm a little bit older now. I'm a little bit wiser. Maybe I would have handled things differently.
No, but it doesn't matter. You've got his signature.
But maybe not.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe not. Maybe it would have been cooler. Maybe
that's isn't that the definition of starstruck? Like that's basically you don't know what you're doing.
No, that's the question.
You're out of your mind.
That's the thing, because we're like, that's the thing. We've all met people that we admire and stuff.
Yes.
But it's when you can be cool about it. Yeah. That's different to when you go, I don't even know what to say. That's why the question is the way it is, because I like because the thing is, there are people that think that about you when they meet you, and that's what I like. That's why I like reminding you.
I don't for a second think like that at all. Like
no, you wouldn't, because you're dead humble and nice. But like, there are people that would think, oh my god, there's Kenny over there. I can't go and ask him. I did when I first met you on the cruise. I remember thinking, I think I'm going to go and say hello, but like, I don't know. And I think I briefly went in, oh hi, can I have a picture? Because I can be very polite and in and out, like I don't take people's time. And then when I saw you, when we were going back to the ship, when we come off at the island, that's when we got chatting, and I realised what a chatterbox you are.
Yeah.
And that's when that is when, in fairness, it's probably too early for me to mention it, but that's when I gave you the challenge, wasn't it, where I said, oh, by the way, I have a thing on the rock cruises, like I have to be the last person to bed on every cruise. That's the thing. It started by accident and it's become a thing, like not just necessarily on my own, but I have to be amongst the last people to bed on the last night.
I remember that.
Yeah, so basically, for context, everybody, everything closes the final night. Even the 24-hour bar is closed because they've got to get the ship ready for the next people.
Yes.
So, but sensible people, what we do is we all hang out. Booze arrives because everyone's got spare booze off their riders. So booze arrives, and you can kind of, and the numbers dwindle and dwindle and dwindle. But I'm always the last of the last few. And this time, we did have a mobility scooter as well to ride around on, which was lots of fun.
We did.
And then when the numbers dropped and dropped and dropped, and because this is my thing, my challenge is I have to be last. Kenny wouldn't go to bed, and I thought I can't let him stay up and beat me. So I was like, Kenny, I think it's time you went to bed. And he was like, I'm going to go to breakfast. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to breakfast then. So we went to breakfast. Yes. So people were leaving the ship and we pulled an all-nighter. Yeah. And then we were eating breakfast. But we hadn't even been back to our rooms.
Yeah, but to be fair, there were a few other people who I think we got, I can't remember exactly, but we had some people from South America who were going strong.
Yeah, like but they all left, and then there was just me and you, and you wouldn't go to bed, and I'm too competitive. I couldn't concede. So.
No, I just remember I'm trying to pack all my stuff to get off the ship.
I know.
And I had help from some of the guys in the band because
because it was my fault. He pulled an all-nighter. But the thing is, as well, so about 7:30 in the morning, I remember going, right, Kenny, it's time. We have to go back to our rooms and pack our stuff and get off the ship now. And that's when you went, oh, okay. And I literally shoved it away.
Pretty crazy.
But I still, at the end of the day, we were the last two.
Yeah, but
we were the
that
only
was
two
such
that pulled a full all-nighter.
But that was such a fun experience as well.
Wasn't it? I know.
I mean, just being on the cruise, being kind of new, back in the game in a way, you know, in so many aspects. I mean, it was amazing, and how people were so friendly and just, I mean, everything was just party.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, we don't talk about, because if you're going to go on the cruise, you've got to go on the cruise and experience it for yourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's lots of fun. It's all cool. Right, so now we've gone off piste. Let me have a little look.
It's not that bad.
In the film of your life, who would you have
the
play
film
you?
of my life?
There's going to be a film of your life. It's going to be made. You've got to decide who plays you, and you can pick anyone. There is no limit on budget whatsoever. Who would you want representing you for the film of your life?
The film of my life?
Yeah.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon, it could be, why not?
A young one.
He's alright.
Sorry, Alice.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I couldn't for the life of me put myself into the headspace of thinking someone acting as me in a movie.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
just pick someone you like.
Yeah, but I mean, why would anyone? Damn.
That's not the question. This is the randomness of the questions.
And also, to be fair,
you could pick Brad Pitt. I reckon Brad Pitt could play you. He did Rockstar. Was it Rockstar?
No.
Which one did he do then?
That was
that was
Marky Mark. Rockstar.
It was.
Right? Guys, help me out.
Wahlberg, yeah.
Mark Wahlberg, yeah.
Marky
Well, then
Mark.
pick him. He could do it.
Sure. Okay, fair enough.
There
He
you
could
go.
probably still pull it off.
He's
Looks like he's fucking 25.
What a
I
guy.
can't believe I said Brad Pitt.
Crazy.
I was
Crazy good actor and good looking guy.
He could totally do it.
Good looking
guy.
guy.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
We've picked him.
Then
The
at
thing
least
is, you've got to pick a good
it would be a
guy.
better version. It would be a better version at least. Yeah.
No. Well, anyway, no. You've got to pick someone that's going to be like,
Fine.
yeah.
So
Do
go with that.
the bollocks, okay. If you had to pick a soundtrack, so forget the band, but just the soundtrack that represented like you, who would you pick to play that?
A soundtrack.
Yeah, for the film of your life. Maybe Iron Maiden.
I don't know. They don't. I don't think they would do soundtracks that well.
No, probably not.
I guess it depends. I mean, but they're a different kind of soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
But a soundtrack for a movie. Ooh.
Don't overthink it.
Cheap Trick.
There we go, that'll do. I was going to say, you don't have to overthink it, because they are just slightly random, daft questions.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes people choose a band that they would want to work with, and they go,
Oh,
oh my god,
well,
like this band is a band that I've just
Yeah.
adored my whole life, and
Yeah.
they've influenced everything I've done. And
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, but that's a different question altogether.
I know.
Than to make a soundtrack.
I don't like to ask who
Yeah.
musical influences are, because everyone asks that. So I try and do it in a worm it around in a different way. Okay, this is the section where we go weirder and we do the would you rather section. Are you up for it?
Sure.
So would you rathers, you don't have to overthink them, because there is no right answer, because all the answers are pretty wrong.
Okay.
They're all weird.
All right.
But we start off a little bit sensible.
Okay.
No, we don't. Would you rather cry every time... Sorry, let me start again.
Okay.
Would you rather cry every time you have sex, or burp every time someone kisses you? These are weird.
Both.
You can't have both. You've got to pick. These are would you rather.
I mean, I could cry every time I have sex. That
Do
sounds
that
beautiful.
one. Yeah, it sounds cute, doesn't it?
You already do.
Would you rather? It's getting weirder now. Would you rather have ball bags for eyelids or a willy for a nose?
Hang on, say that again. Ball bags. What?
Ball bags for eyelids or a willy for a nose?
Maybe a willy for a nose.
Yeah, I think,
Dual wielding. I mean, that's great.
I think so. I think that's a good one. Would you rather have... Oh, hang on. Am I going to do this one? Yeah. I haven't done it for ages. Would you rather have vaginas for ears or penises for arms? I always have to do the actions as well. I don't know what.
I mean, if I had penises for arms, I'd be pretty useless at grabbing anything, right? I mean, yeah, but it.
You want the vaginas, I know
Vaginas for ears.
I know it,
Yeah.
I can tell. Okay, would you rather listen to an annoying laugh listen to an annoying laugh for a whole day or get tickled for an hour?
I could.
Thank you.
We're nearly ready to wrap up.
Listen to an annoying laughter.
Really? Would you choose that? You don't want to be tickled?
Yeah, because I don't really get annoyed by laughter. It doesn't matter how weirdly you think you laugh or anybody. Like I don't know, human emotion. Yeah. Bring it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And maybe if you're super ticklish, the whole hour might be awful. All right, this is a weird one, and this is what
you said. All of them are weird.
I know, but this is getting worse because somebody threw this one back at me. I was interviewing them, and then I started having them thrown back at me, but I like it. Right. Would you rather have a rhinoceros head for a big toe, or a giraffe neck on your body with your head on top? Actually, that's not the one. I made it up. Changed it a little bit.
I think the toe thing sounds pretty awful. You can't really walk properly, right? You're just stumbling all across.
You can't just get a giant shoe.
Yeah, the giraffe's. You said the giraffe's neck, right?
Yeah, the whole neck. So your
the
head
whole
would
neck.
be on
The whole
top.
neck. I think I'd choose that. Yeah, why not?
That sounds good.
I'm a pretty short guy to begin with, so I'd be able to see shit.
So tall,
I can walk into concerts and see everything.
Okay, there's only a couple more before I actually leave these, but I think they're funny. Would you rather have legs as short as E.T. or arms as long as Mr. Tickle? It's back on tickling.
Yeah, there's a lot of tickling going on. I guess the arms, just long.
I like the arms.
Yeah.
I like the thought of
Yeah.
we could get a drink from over there without moving.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mr. Tickle arms is a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, your head on backwards, or your arms where your legs are and your legs where your arms are. My new favourite.
Oh. Shit. Oh. That's difficult. Because you're kind of
screwed either way. I know. A good would you rather does that to you. Gives you a head fuck.
Yeah, I don't really know.
You got to pick though. Choose or die.
Choose or die. All right. I guess I'd have to live with either one, really. Whichever one was thrown at me.
Head on backwards then.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
We'll just chuck that one in there.
Yeah.
It's probably less freaky, although they're both a bit weird. This is the final one, and this is my old favourite. Anyone who's ever watched my interviews before is probably sick of it, but I still love it. Would you rather have a 12-inch belly button that sways to the music, or accordions for legs?
Accordions for legs, or
12-inch belly button, or you can't make an accordion noise.
12-inch belly button. Yeah. I mean,
it's gonna sway to the music. Any music anywhere.
Yeah,
out it comes.
I could probably go and have them fixed.
You can't have it fixed. That's not the game. Stick with it for life.
You didn't say that.
You can tape it down.
Yeah, but you can't change the rules.
The rules are the rules.
No.
You can't have it fixed.
You didn't say the rules before you asked me the question.
Well, no, I'm in charge of the question, so you can't be doing that. Right, that is the end of the really random Would You Rather section. I do love a Would You Rather. So, final question then, if anything were possible, because you have done some amazing things already. You have. I'm sure you've lived a few dream moments already.
Well, of course.
But if anything was possible, money was no object, nothing was in the way of it, what would be the dream achievement? What would be the thing that you would go, I would love to do that? It can be as big, bold and brash as you like, it doesn't matter. What would you love to do as a musician?
As a musician?
Yeah, or as a band or whatever. What would be the dream achievement? Short of world domination.
To be a really old man and still be doing this.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice dream, isn't it? It's quite a humble one actually. I like that. It's very sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's it. That means you are living your dream at the moment as well.
I kind of.
You just want to keep doing it forever. That's really sweet. That's really nice. And on that lovely note, I am actually going to round off. So, as a final reminder, before people go, download the new single, listen to it, stream it, whatever you need to do. New single is Disaster. And also, go and blimmin' pre-order Welcome to the Future.
Yeah, I mean, it helps us.
It's not going to take you long.
No,
just go on your phone, do it
But
now.
equally, if you don't want to pre-order,
just buy it when it comes out.
Just buy it when it comes out. Listen to it. If you like the stuff, support us by buying the album. I think that's a great way to say as well. Listen to it on Spotify, wherever you find the album. You're gonna find it in many places. If you like what you're hearing, support us, and the best way you can do that is by buying an album. Like any band that you like.
Buy the album, buy the merch, come to the shows. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, we'd love to see you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Always.
Thank you so much, Kenny. I really appreciate you taking the time out, pre-show and everything.
Yes.
And the champagne and all the stuff. It's been great.
Oh, yes.
And I can't wait for the show, which will be soon.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you.
Let's get ready.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you, Caz. All right, awesome.